There we go. Welcome everybody to Atavah's second product session, and this morning we're going to talk about what products I use for my children. So welcome, Lucia. Thank you for joining us again.
Thanks, Stef. I'm very excited to hear what you use for your children and what Atavah has available for the children.
Okay, I want to start this morning's session because I don't want to make it too long, and I've got a lot of products to cover, so it's going to be speed dating again, but at least it will give you an overall idea. Let me just get the stash here. So I just want to remind everybody, every child is different, and some children will react different to different ingredients and stuff. So again, you have to test things and see what works for you. But what I've really seen is that people are so afraid to trust the more natural products, and when the child gets really sick, they're so afraid of using the stuff and think it won't be as good. So what I've just found is sometimes, especially if a child has like a bad cold and they're coughing, so sometimes with natural ingredients or treatments, the symptoms takes a bit longer to go away. So you have to really persist, and it's hard work, but it does work. And because they really then play a supporting role to your child's immune system. And it actually is healthy for them because it builds their immune system and give their immune system a chance to grow. Whereas if you just put your child on antibiotics, it's just killing the bacteria, and your immune system is not practicing, it's doing the work for them. So you get results faster, but it's not as good for your child. So we've really, we are in an age where we fear so much. And I understand that, mother, it's not nice to have 6 children. You don't want to see them suffer. But we fear disease, and we also, I see many times mothers think, but if my child eats healthy and I give them supplements, that they won't get sick. And I don't think that's the idea. The idea is not to have your child not get sick, because it's actually healthy to get sick. It's part of Abba's design because it builds your immune system so that later on in life you can fight all these diseases. I think if a child never gets sick, it's not a good thing, because at one stage they will get sick, and if the immune system didn't have the experience of fighting germs and viruses, it's just not a good thing. So first of all, okay, let's quickly go through the products. Where do I start? So my go-to, like the very 2 things I'd like to speak about is frankincense again. Frankincense is it comes in an oil, it comes in a balm, it comes in a resin. It is so safe for children. It's really safe. It's even safe for newborns. Like I've said, I've used the frankincense blend on my newborn. I've used it throughout pregnancy. So when my son was very little, he used to get tonsillitis quite bad. And more than one occasion, if I had all the right stuff with me and I started treating, immediately, usually we can stop the tonsillitis. So the frankincense resin comes in we've got the 100 grams and then we've got the 50 gram packets. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, I just quickly want to show you. But I'm sure most of our followers know. So it looks like it's like a piece of, what do you call it? The gum from a tree. The sap from a tree comes like gum or glue. So you as an adult can drink this as well as like a capsule that you drink, and it's very healthy for you. But for my children, I take one of those mortar and pestle that you use in the kitchen to grind spices or herbs, and I just grind it into a fine powder, kind of like. And then I will put it into a glass jar, and I'll add boiling water and a rooibos tea bag. So about, like a teacup full, or whatever, a small glass jar. And then I'll let the tea seep, and when, I'll take it out, the resin will not totally dissolve. It will some of it will dissolve, but it won't go away. There will be pieces of it, left in the tea. And but if your children drink it from when they are little, they get used to it quickly. They even chew it and they like it. So as soon as this mixture has cooled down, then you add raw honey. So we also sell raw honey. Simpson honey is my own honey that we farm, and we buy some in from different districts. The reason I add it only when it has cooled down is very important, because if you add the honey when the tea is still hot, the honey after the heat will destroy all the good properties of the honey. All the probiotics that's actually very good for you. So I want to keep that, because that also helps cold and sore throat and all of that. So I will mix it in afterwards, and then I give them to them in a glass or in a teaspoon, and they just love it. It's really tasty. It's like iced tea. And frankincense is really good for colds. So anything, from above your stomach, basically. So your lungs, your sinuses, your nose, all of that frankincense is very good for. So if they've got a persistent cough and you let them constantly drink this, I really do believe it helps. So that's the frankincense infection. Yes.
Is there an amount that you give them specifically, or just as and when needed? If they sick, for example.
When they were very little, I'll give like a teaspoon 3 times a day. But now they're older, they can drink it like iced tea. It's really not bad for them. They cannot really overdose. So now you can give quite a lot. And then together with that, I do and even if it's like a small baby, you can maybe pour it through babies cannot really use honey before 1 years old. But let's say you make it without the honey, then you can pour it through a sieve and then just use the water and mix it maybe in with a little bit of milk or something else that you can give it to them. And then again, we talked about this earlier, but for those of you who didn't watch the first video on my favorite products, the frankincense, it's the 3% blend from ancient biblical oils. Again, for my children, when they are sick, you can put this inside of their ears. You won't burn their ears. It clears up an ear infection so quickly. If it's just congested because of, a cold, it just eases that pain and that swelling. So really go to for scars, bumps, it disinfects. When they've got like big, open, gaping wounds, you can put this into the wound. It won't burn. It will disinfect better than anything because it goes into the bloodstream and it goes into the tissue around the wound. It doesn't just clean the wound, on the surface. So a great go-to. Are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
I mentioned these in the first video as well. Again, this combination. Also for burns. Like I've said, unfortunately, I had 3 terrible burns. But the one extreme one was where she pulled a whole cup of boiling water onto her face, and immediately she was swollen. And I took her and I rubbed her with this oil all over, and then afterwards with this product. So what is in here is it's basically let me just say aloe gel, carrot and lavender oil, and nano silver technology. So it's just good for burns, for scrapes, for blisters, sores. You can wounds, all of that. It's not an expensive product, so it's a nice thing to have in your bag for your children, but especially for burns. Because what aloe gel does is when you have a burn, the top layer of your skin is actually destroyed. And when you put aloe gel over it, it forms like a little film over that. And when you do that again and again, and it actually just protects the skin and it helps you to heal underneath.
Okay, and you can use it for grown-ups as well?
Definitely. It works for grown-ups. I've put it on my face. It's good for nappy rash, eczema. You can even put it in your eyes, they say. I haven't tried that, but I do believe in the nano silver technology. It's just super good for germs. I had a friend, she got, they were camping at the beach, near the beach, and she hurt her foot. It was just like a little injury. It wasn't bad, but it didn't want to heal. She just couldn't get it to heal. She tried everything. She tried oils. It didn't want to heal. And later they went home. They live in Pretoria, and it just got worse. And then eventually she just applied the silver what do you call it? You know, the silver genesis, the micro silver. There's a specific word for that, nano silver. You can usually get it in bottles as a liquid, but I mean, it is in this gel as well. And it just immediately healed it and killed all the bacteria.
So it's a great addition to your emergency kit.
Definitely. I think we will do an emergency kit as well.
Yeah.
So the next product that's very important is this one, Rawbiotics. So as you guys know, well, I hope you know this, but most of your health, 95% of your health, I know it's a high percentage, I don't know exactly what, but it starts in your gut. If your gut is not healthy, you will have immunity problems, you'll get sick a lot. There's so many things, even your serotonin levels. I mean, even depression can start in your gut. Your gut is just so important. And because our westernized diets, we don't get enough. Sorry, I just had somebody phone me. So
we don't get enough.
Sorry, just fermented food.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to really add that to your diet. We can have a talk about fermented foods at some time. We eat a lot of kefir. If I say a lot, maybe twice a week. We can even see if I can sell like small samples of the plant, and you can start your own production. But you need fermented food. So this is a very good fermented based Rawbiotic. It's got multi-strain. So usually the probiotics that you buy in the pharmacy, they only have one type of bacteria. But this is a multi-strain, and it's so good. I mean, this one, I'm not going to count them now, but it's a multi-strain. Very good for your children. It doesn't have a super bad taste. It tastes a bit like molasses water, but it's not sweet. So what I will do is, sometimes I'll give my children kombucha. We don't drink cool drink and stuff in the house, but if they have a little bit of iced tea or kombucha, I'll literally mix just a cup of this little bit. Or if they have the frankincense resin. Oh, I made a sample for you that we spoke about. So this is basically the tea. I don't want to shake it too hard because it's open at the top, but you can see the piece swirling.
Yeah.
Yes. So if there's honey added to that and it's nice and sweet, and if I give them in a cup a little bit of that to drink, I'll just add this. And it doesn't taste bad, and they'll drink it. It's so good for them. I think it's a teaspoon a day. Very good for your children to keep that gut healthy, especially if they had to have antibiotics. You need to restore the gut. And my children luckily also love the kefir, so if they get that in, very, very important for good gut health.
It's good. For the next one? It's good you teach them from a small age to drink the kefir, because it really has an acquired taste. So
I must actually, when we have a talk about that, I've got a very good recipe, and it tastes like a smoothie, because we freeze our bananas. If they start to go brown and they're really sweet, we freeze them. So we make kefir with banana and blueberries and honey, and it's actually so nice and sweet, and it doesn't really taste sour or funny. It just tastes like a smoothie. So they really like it. Okay. And this also comes in a range of different ones for adults. We've got a gut restore, we've got a daily balance. So it's a very good product. Then, if your child's old enough and they get flu, so we've also spoke about this oil, but I just quickly want to mention it again. It's the Nigella sativa oil. We call it a mustard seed oil. It's amazing if you've got a sore throat and you put that in your throat. So if the children's a bit older, you can explain to them. It doesn't taste good, but if you can just hold out, it will really help you. I put it in his throat. But if they really don't like the taste, you can even put it in an empty capsule and just let them get that in, because it's good for your immune system. That's very good to drink.
So there's not necessarily an age restriction, it's just about the taste.
Yes. It's the taste. It doesn't taste very well. If they're old enough to learn to swallow, I usually promise him a little something, a piece of dried fruit or something tasty after he's eaten that. And usually that will get him to at least, just get that in. Then if they're old enough to swallow capsules, again, for adults as well, but it's the olive leaf extract. So that's really our go-to for cold and flu is frankincense, the black oil, bastard seed oil, and the olive leaf extract. And I just give, there's not really a dosage for children, but I mean, it's two times a day for adults. So I just give him one a day before he goes to bed. And I mean, my children, anything can happen. He was very sick when he was little once with tonsillitis, and once again after that, but never for flu. Have they ever been to the doctor? Because we always get it under control and we can stop it immediately. Some of the products I don't have here that's super important that we also spoke about previously is the eucalyptus oil. And when they've got a stuffy nose and they're coughing, the best thing for them is showers. So I let them shower twice a day. I showered with my newborn from day one. So she likes it. She's always liked the shower, even when she was a little baby. So when she's sick, I will let her shower and I'll put the oils in the shower and we'll steam up the bathroom. Eucalyptus, lavender, and peppermint. Peppermint is so good for your lungs. It's good for children. And again, if they're a bit older, even if you stand with them with a towel over the head, over hot water, and you can put some oil in the hot water and they can just breathe that in. Again, you can even use COVID steam. That is a bit, and then I won't use boiling water. I'll use hot tap water, so it's not too hot for them. But you can use COVID steam, sinus steam, eucalyptus, peppermint, lavender. But that really helps to just decongest.
So you say even from newborn they can do that, but just then with you in the shower as well.
Yes, I'll hold her and we'll just put some on the floor, so it's not overwhelming. But yeah, it's definitely, especially again, the frankincense, even if you just put the frankincense blend on the chest of a newborn. Frankincense, peppermint are two of your oils that's the best for your lungs, and even cedarwood. It increases the oxygen flow. So one of the other products that I quite love is, sorry, I don't know where the cap is. This is such an old bottle. It's the only one I could find in my house, but it's the chest blend from Lucia. So all of Lucia's products, that's Atavah oils. She has a kids range as well. So there is a chest roller for kids, and there's a sleepy blend for kids that comes in a little roller. But I just use the adult version because then we use it as well. I don't find it to be strong. So if they are sick, I will, after a nice warm bath or the shower, I will wrap the chest with the chest blend. And another one for Atavah's oils that's so nice is the sleep blend. So again, they've got the sleepy roller for kids, but I lose my rollers. I never know where they are. But yeah, so I use the sleepy roller. You put it underneath their feet, massage the feet, and it really helps for sleep. But again, it's not a drug. It's not going to knock them out. It's something that you need to do every day. And after a while, it just gets them into that cycle of sleeping, takes them into deeper sleep. Yeah, very nice products.
Can you use that in a humidifier as well?
No, so we do have a sleep diffuser blend, but it comes in a small bottle and it's the blend of the pure oils. But this one you cannot because carrier oil mixed into it, and yeah, it's just not. It will clog up your diffuser. Then the last, there's only. I just want to get a paper here. Just hold on. I did a print out because I didn't have one at home. That's this is the next product I want to talk about. So this is our, the Myrtle range from Benita. She does shampoo bars, and she's got one called Baby's Breath. It's this one. It's white. It's called Baby's Breath. Okay. So that one has no essential oils mixed into it. It's very good for babies. Again, you can wash your newborn with it. I washed Olivia the first bath with that, body, hair, everything. But what's so amazing about it, it is very good for eczema for children. It can take away eczema. If you also obviously have to deal with the spiritual root and other things behind that and diet, but it's very, very good, as well as cradle cap. So when a baby is born, many of them it looks like eczema on their head, but it's really thick and scaly and dry, and it comes, it's like almost the skin on their head is peeling back, but sometimes it can last up till they're over a year old.
Sure.
And it's sometimes very hard to get away, to heal and get it away. But for those of you who don't know much about this and you're new to all, this road of using healthy stuff and not chemical-free stuff, things to really stay away from is the soaps that we grew up with. Johnson & Johnson's and all of those type of baby products. Even many of them are marketed as safe and more natural. But if you look at the ingredients, I think one of the biggest ones is called sodium lauryl. It's the ingredient in soap that makes it bubbly. And it's in most soaps. I've had so many people contact me with the organic, natural range, and then I see, but they still use a lot of lauryl sulfate in the soap. So myrtle doesn't have that, and stuff like that really aggravates eczema and things like cradle cap. So really stay away from that. You can just bath your baby in that baby spray soap, the shampoo, and it really takes it away. So it's good for hair. From top to bottom.
Top to top. Okay.
Also for adults.
Just on that, I just want to comment on that because it's so important. I did a study about the lauryl sulfate a while back because I had a skin condition around my mouth. And there was nothing that could fix it. I didn't know what it is. And then as I did a bit more research, I found out that it's because of that ingredient, because it's in hand soap, it's in shampoo, it's in body soap, it's in face soap.
It's so even it's really in toothpaste.
Yeah. So it's so good to, from the start, not expose your baby to that because it can really later in life result in skin conditions as well.
Yeah, definitely. And if your child really has bad eczema or a bad rash, what also works if you rub them in coconut oil. The cold press organic coconut oil that you buy from Diskin. Obviously, then they are very slippery, so be careful. I like to bath with my babies when they are little, so my husband will help me and they'll be in the bath so I can hold them. So you rub them with coconut oil and then you rinse them. And I know they feel dirty because the coconut oil doesn't wash off, but you just rinse them with the hot water, and then when they are taken out and you rub them down, that oiliness goes away and the skin is just left soft, and that's really good for their skin because it protects that. Our skin has a barrier that protects us from infection and things from the outside. And many times our harsh soaps and stuff, and if you wash a baby too much, when they are little, don't wash them often. They don't sweat. I mean, if it, you really don't have to wash them every day. If you wash them too often, too early, it breaks down that barrier of the skin and it makes it more prone to infection and all kinds of stuff. And the coconut oil will just help, protect that. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then the last couple of things, we also spoke about, this was one of my favorites. It's the sandalwood CBD blend from Ancient Biblical Oils. So sandalwood, even if you just buy the normal sandalwood blend, it doesn't need to be the CBD one, but it really helps, I found, my children with their emotions. I'm not good at putting something on every day, but if you can, especially if you have a child that struggles to control their emotions, you must also remember they are just children and they're learning. It's part of the grade. Sometimes they are overwhelmed, and I'll just apply to them when they are sleeping. I put it here, on their heads. And then, I find that it helps. It's very good for your health, for your brain health, for the oxygen levels in your brain, for their brain development, because their brains develop so fast and so much when they are little. So it's really beneficial for that. The
And you
last
can
two
put it
products
on
I...
them, sorry, since baby, you can put it on them, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So babies go through what they call leaps. There's lots of different opinions about that. I've really seen it spot on with my children. So a leap is not what people confuse sometimes. It's not a milestone. Okay, so it's not a milestone like walking, and children are different. But a leap is more of a mental development, like you have the baby in your womb, and at 6 months the baby's gonna look like this, and this is gonna be developing. At 7 months, it's gonna be this. So leaps are brain development that happens after they are born. So, and when they grasp certain concepts, and what I think confuses people is you don't always see the signs of that. They don't always immediately show the signs, and you think, well, my baby hasn't went through this leap yet, but they actually all go through the leaps at the same time. And when they go through a leap, they can be very difficult. And it just helped me to see, okay, maybe if they are in a leap, because the first time it happened to my son, I thought, wow, what's wrong? I almost took him to the hospital because he was just a different baby from yesterday. He was crying the whole time. He didn't want to drink. He was arching his back. It was like, really, what's happening? And then I went on to, there's an app called Wonder Weeks. I went onto the app and I saw, okay, it's his first leap. He's on his back, worst day of the leap. He will be okay. So I just gave it another day, and the next day he was fine again. And then many times when they are in a leap like that, I found that the sandalwood oil really helps. And then I don't only apply it on them, I apply it to mommy as well, because it also helps regulate, my brain health and my emotions, because it is difficult sometimes and it's overwhelming. Yeah.
Okay.
So the last two products I just quickly want to mention is we've got a new product range. It's called Salvation Little Healing Miracles. I'm not going to talk about all of them today. We'll talk about them on another day. But this one is the sunscreen, and it's called 123 Block Myself. It's a plus 20 SPF, and it really works. And I think other than your commercial sunblocks, you just need to apply it more often. So usually when we go out, I apply it, half an hour before we go out, so it's time to work and form a layer. And then after that, every now and then I'll just apply a little bit more. I'm actually not the biggest fan of sunscreen, especially if you don't use a natural organic one, because I think many of the ingredients in the sunscreen is so bad for your skin, and that's actually what's causing skin cancer. I think the pharmaceutical industry has really made us so afraid of things that Abba gave us. For example, the sun. I'm not saying you should go 12 o'clock in the middle of the day and go sit in the sun for 3 hours. That's stupid. So when the sun is at its hottest, stay out of the sun. But morning sun, afternoon sun is so healthy for you. And if you block those rays from going into your skin, you don't produce all the hormones that you need to. I've recently even heard that somebody did a study where when you go into the sun without sunglasses, your eyes picks up the intensity of the sun, and that determines how much natural melatonin, or what's the right word, your natural SPF, your body must secrete to protect your skin. So if you're wearing sunglasses, your body cannot regulate that. Your eyes get desensitized to the sun because you're wearing sunglasses, and also you're blocking that that mechanism Abba's put in place for your skin to protect itself. So it's very important actually to learn if you have it, but it's easy for me. So I don't have a very fair skin. I've got quite, a dark skin, so I don't burn that easily. But my little girl is not super dark, and she, I try not to put too much sunblock on her. And then the last product I just want to mention, sorry, I see I don't have one here with me, is Diana's Bulbanella. We've got a toothpaste of her. I think we already listed it as a product. I'm not sure. But it's safe for children, but it's just very different. So many people don't like to use it because it's just so different. But it is a good option for children because it is super safe. You can literally eat it and it won't harm you or your children. But because I say it's so weird for people, we are used to even toothpaste must foam. That's why they put that lauryl sulfate in toothpaste. So this is not a foamy type of thing. It's actually made of beeswax. So it's very waxy. So when I do use it for my children, I will use warm water. So I'll put some on the toothbrush. I'll put it under warm water so it just gets a little bit softer. And then I brush the teeth, and it's as if the beeswax makes a film over your teeth to protect it. And it tastes a bit like honey. It's not super sweet. You can brush the teeth, and then you just need to rinse the toothbrush as well with hot water, because it does kind of clogs up your toothbrush, which is not nice. But if you put it in a glass with warm water, just wash it nicely. But at least you know it's safe for your children. I've used it myself. It just gives a different taste, even if you add some of the cinnamon oil that I've told you about in the previous session. Yeah, just good for oral health. But that was a mouthful this morning about children's products. There's so much more, but these are the basics that I use every day. I think the last tip I can really give you, if you have like a emergency bag that you take on holidays, it's very good to have a mirror oil. So you can even have, like, Lucia has one that comes like in this type of bottle that's like a blend that's a bit stronger. Ancient biblical oils have a mirror blend, and then you get the pure mirror oils, because mirror is a anti-venom. So if your child gets bitten by a snake or a spider, I do hope that never happens, but it's really good to have that on hand, because it's an anti-venom. So it will still look bad, but I promise you it will heal if you put that on for your emergency kit. But just beware, if you're pregnant, don't use mirror oil. So just check your products, because many of our beauty products, many of the creams that I use every day as mirror oil in, because mirror can stimulate contractions in the womb. And yeah, so it's just something that you should stay away with. Oh, can I give one more tip?
Yes,
because
please.
Obviously this is now for mommies with children, but some of the mommies might be pregnant. So this frankincense oil, again, I think this is like my favorite product ever. But also Lucia's is also fine. It's a bit stronger, so that will actually also work well for the mom. So if you're breastfeeding and you get lumps in your breast, so when your milk comes in, so the first 4 days, it takes the first 4 days of breastfeeding for you to establish your milk production. So that depends on how much the baby's drinking. So your body will maybe overproduce a little bit of milk, because it's still regulating how much must I make. So what happens is it will form lumps in your breasts, which gets extremely sore. It's swollen, it's sore, you cannot touch it. The best thing is then for the child to still drink, to get that milk out. But what I do to prevent from getting infection or mastitis, which is very bad, and this really works every time. I didn't have mastitis once, and I'm so happy for that, is I'll take a hot water bottle or a bean bag, heat it up, not obviously too hot, but then I'll put it on my breast where it's sore, so that tissue gets nice and warm. And then I'll take the frankincense oil and I'll just massage. And it hurts so much, but you massage it out. And yeah, usually after one time it was relieved. Sometimes when it lasted longer, it was at most 2 days when I needed to do that. And you just massage it out. And that oil, the frankincense, will go into your breast milk, but it's 100% safe for your baby. In fact, I think it's good for your baby. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really a power oil to use, eh?
Yes, I love frankincense. So, Alshay, I hope a lot of people, you are only live participant that was here for the whole session. Some people came and some people left. Thank you for joining us this morning, but hopefully a lot of people can watch the video afterwards. And if you've got friends to share it with them, I really hope this helps. It's really a rush through the products because we don't want to make it too long. But do you have any questions for us, Alshay? Let's give a moment if she wants to ask something. Do you have anything you want to ask?
No, I just think it's so helpful, especially for anyone that's already a mom or a mom-to-be, like you mentioned. These are helpful tips that you can write down and really treasure. So thank you for sharing the wisdom that Abba gave you in raising your children with us.
It's a pleasure, and really it makes, some of the things that won't get old, like the shampoo bars, that they can use from from newborn. It's nice things to give as a baby shower, you know, because it's products they'll actually use, especially if a mom's new to introduce them to this, to give the oil and maybe a nice a sunblock and a myrtle soap. Such nice presents for a new mom. We also have a very nice bum roller oil from Asher. I actually don't know where mine is. The small things I lose. I never knew where I placed them. But yeah, so it's good, meaningful gifts. Yeah, for yourself and for a friend.
Thanks, Stef. And if anyone, for example, has a question that they would like to ask you to recommend, let's say a basket to give to someone for a baby shower, they can just reach out to you and you will help them with that, right?
Definitely. I think Michelle is, when she posts this video, she's going to share the 5 top products. We've mentioned more than 5, but I mean, like I've said, the shampoo bar, the oil, the probiotic. There's a couple of things that you can give a new mom, but will always help to put something together. Yeah.
Thanks, Stef.
We didn't speak about any children's books today. We've got very nice children's books, but that's obviously when they're a bit older. We've got that the Psalms for Kleingoed, which is an amazing book as well, which makes a nice gift or add-on. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
I think there's so many products, we'll have to go on forever to do product videos.
Yes. So next Thursday we will speak about a product range called Diana's Balbanella, which is also something I've used for so long. So it's beauty products, body lotion, face cream. The body lotion of Diana's also very safe for children, very good. That's what I put on my children's, what I use in their bodies. But yeah, I'll show the product next week when we speak about it. Thank you so much, Lucia.
Thanks, Stef. Bye.
Okay, have a nice day. Bye.
You too. Bye.